the founder of Flexo Fitness. This is not a fitness video, it is more of a World Matters video. There's a lot of stuff going on right now between police and supposedly, the racism and the killings and then the retaliation and the craziness. And I just kind of wanted to give a little insight on the world from a non-biased view. I could say non-biased meaning, hey, yeah, I am black, I am African American, yet you got to be able to look from both point of views as you assess the situation. So first thing is, all lives matter. It doesn't matter whether you're orange, black, purple, whatever. In the situations, you can look back and see, pity on this side, pity on that side, but really you got to take pity on both sides. Because both are dealing with struggles that the other one probably doesn't understand or doesn't care to understand in some situations. First thing is, of course, yeah, it is a stigma placed on your head as an African American. That just kind of comes around with it. As far as that goes, there are ways to get around it, or ways to surpass it, I would say. You should see yourself as an equal. And with that being said, as an equal means your mindset has to be right to see yourself as an equal. There is a difference in, what the world sees today, as far as how people treat you based on your skin color, things of that nature. And it goes both ways. You might see a Caucasian or a white guy walking by and instantly think, oh man, it's just some regular guy who's, got a great family and his life is amazing. Or you might see a black guy walk by, from a different point of view and think, oh wow, he must be a troublemaker, or he must be into something, or he must be up to something. So naturally, not even naturally, I would say worldly, the world gives you a perception of what to think instantly based on what you see. So the way to get around that is, if you have an equal mindset or the right mindset, you can form your own opinion and not listen to what the world is saying about this person or that person. You have to do so to be treated or created as an equal. The biggest thing with that would be, say, the police situation. Everything's going crazy right now. People are apprehensive on this side. You got people that are aggressive on the other side, and it's starting to get mixed, which is bad. The way to get around that is, you get pulled over. For one, you either A, got profiled, or B, you're doing something wrong. Regardless, it's still a matter of how you handle the situation. When it comes to the car, you got everything ready for him. You ain't making no sketchy moves. You ain't doing nothing crazy. Yeah, not all situations work out as such. There will be situations that aren't favorable or that, aren't fair. But yet, by handling yourself well, you control everything that happens in that portion. You might get mad at you, say, hey, get out the car, this and that, gun to your face. But you ain't trying to fight them, so why do you have a reason to shoot? That's the type of situation you look at. Yes, it's not fair. The world is not fair. We see how it's played out in a lot of situations. But you can't eliminate a lot of trouble that you will face in those situations by holding yourself accountable or being able to control your emotions or controlling your mindset. All lives do matter. It's not a, hey, this guy's white, this guy's black. The police, they got shot. I feel for them because they still had a job to do. They have families, and they weren't even the ones who pulled the trigger in those other situations. Yet they got hit for what somebody else did. And that's, the black African American guys that got shot. I feel for them because they felt like they were violated in that situation, and of course it came out ugly on their part. So I can't say that either side is right, either side is wrong. Yet both sides controlling their mindset and their mentality and that preconceived notion of this guy's up to trouble or this guy has it amazing or this guy is about to shoot me would eliminate a lot of the problems that we see today. Just thinking from a young man's perspective, just a little background on me. I am 22 years old currently. In 2 days I'll be 23. I have been to college. I hated it. I started off doing computer software systems and programming. I was going in for computer science, and now I own my personal training company, my own fitness company at that. I do resale supplements. It's really a brand within itself, and it happens to be Flexo Fitness. So mindset is everything. You can be pretty much whatever you want to be in the world today. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're purple, I don't care if you're Hispanic, whatever you want to call it. America has made it to where it's a free enterprise. The thing is, most people will let that preconceived notion keep them down. Instantly when I walk into a bank, they look at me and say, this is a young black man who is probably a troublemaker who doesn't know what he's talking about. Instantly. I've had older guys tell me that's not gonna work. I've had guys that I trusted tell me that's not gonna work. I've had guys who I didn't even know tell me this could work. So really it's based on what you want to work and how you go about it. Knowledge is everything. I'm not saying get out here and read 1,000 Webster's dictionaries, but at the same time, if you want to know how to run a business, you talk to a businessman. If you want to know how to hustle, you talk to a hustler. If you want to know how to cook, you talk to a cook. So whoever's in your field or whoever you see that is successful is who you should put yourself around. If you see somebody that's a multimillionaire, he runs his business, he does this, he does that, and keyword, he's happy with what he does, then pick his mind. Sit down, ask for 10 minutes of that man's time or her time in that situation and learn, okay, they have one distinctive trait. I want to find that one distinctive trait that they have so I can see if I can apply that in my life, because that might help me. You should be able to pull something from, at least one thing from everybody that you meet, whether it's how they hold themselves, whether it's how they speak, whether it's their emotion, whether it's their logic, whatever it comes down to, you should always be open to learn from somebody. And you should never be able to look at them as a lesser or a greater. That person's at a different point in their life compared to you. But it doesn't mean that you can't get there. Or on that lesser side, it doesn't mean you ain't been there. You can't look back at somebody else like, oh, he ain't doing nothing good for himself. Or how are you helping him get to that point? Have you put any good into his life? And don't address anything negative that somebody else is doing if you A, don't understand it, or B, aren't trying to get him out that position. That's how you go about life. So really it's wide open to what possibilities could be happening or what moves you could be making. I mean, the way the system is set up, you can go work for somebody else and build a dream and never get anything accomplished besides bare minimum. But most of the time, people will say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I got bills, I got this, I got that. It's always a way. It's always a way. Take that money that you're making from what they're giving you and put it towards something that you want to do. And eventually, your levels will even out. If you're working 80 hours here, doing this, doing that, and you put 1 or 2 hours here, eventually you're going to catch up to that 80. Because that 1 or 2 is going to keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking. That 80 resets every week. So 1 or 2 hours in a business that you want to do, or a field that you love, or somewhere you want to invest, or whatever it comes out to be, the system is set up to where you'll retain your business more than you will what you're doing with somebody else. Now, I'm not saying everybody's job is horrible, this and that. I mean, if you love what you do, run with it. More power to you, because that's what you want to do. But at the same time, don't get stuck in the system saying that, oh, the quote unquote white man wants us to stay down, or they don't want to give us this, they don't want to give us that. But what are you doing to get it? Are you trying to get it? Have you figured out how to get it? And if so, how are you going about it? That's what really determines the outcome in the situation. And at the same time, don't think that the white man doesn't struggle also. Don't think that Hispanics are struggling also. That's another thing. It's about immigration and this and that, and it's a lot of them over here that taking work, this and that. Me personally, from my experience in life, this is my opinion. A Hispanic man will come in, he will outwork you, he will work circles around you, and he will work for less. So you tell me how you can hate on a man who is willing to take less than what you were given and still do more work than you to make ends meet. They come in, they are family oriented, they put everything on the table, and they build. They build. Now you can say, yeah, taxes, this and that. Really, most people get their tax money back and ball out. When it's tax season, the mall booming. So don't say that about taxes in that situation. And it's a lot of stuff that tax money goes to that you don't even know. The judicial system. It's going to this overseas trade that they doing here. It's going to this, it's going to that. So you can't even say taxes if you're not seeing them directly. There's nothing that you can control on that end. If you make a lot of money, pay your taxes. If you don't make a lot of money, get your taxes. Whatever it comes out to be, the situation is going to fit you based on what you're doing with your life. So you can't complain about another man's situation if you don't understand his point of view, how he was raised, or what he was going through at that time. So really, it's kind of crazy how the world spins this, spins that. The media has something different every day that pops up. So the biggest thing is just being able to maintain your situation and dictate what you want to happen in your life at that point in time. Whether it's from being arrested, whether it's from starting your own business, whether it's from not judging the next person who walks by and has something different than you. As long as you hold yourself accountable, as long as you keep your mind right, and as long as you got your heart in the right place, I say God above all, Just because, I mean, whether you are religious, whether you got just morals, whether you hate life, you still have to live by some kind of standard. I let God be mine. My morals are also sound also. They usually go hand in hand. If you don't like neither one of those, then I mean, I can't tell you how your life's gonna come out. You really dictate that, you know, and how you spend. But you do good to others, and it'll come back to you in some form of fashion. You know, it might not be monetary. You might spend $1,000 here, and somebody rub it back the next day. It's still a win on both fronts. So just do good to others, keep your mind right, and do not let any preconceived notion keep you down. Whether it's one that you placed on somebody else, or whether it's one they placed upon you. It's still a possibility, and it's still up to you to dictate how everything comes out. So with that being said, hope this was something positive for somebody, or you know, maybe somebody out there need to hear this. If you listen to it, great, thank you. If you didn't, cool. Hit share, hit whatever you want to do with it. You know, just pass it on to somebody else because they might listen to it. And once again, my name is Trey Stewart with Flexo Fitness, and I'd like to say, you know, grind hard, get money, and be happy. Biggest thing of all. Thank you.